This college football bowl picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITH.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer? Although Kramer chalk, what do you college football playoff?
Yeah, regretfully.
Yeah,
I mean, we can get to it, but I mean, I feel like a lot of chit chat on the internet, and most of what everyone is saying really is that road games are hard. Colby's been right. We have to give him his flowers.
Yeah. Luckily, I had a couple of the home teams there, and in the college football playoff, joining us on the line to talk all things college football playoffs from the college experience, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. I see Brian in the chat saying, "Is Colby here from the SEC hate experience?" Colby, why do you hate the SEC so much?
Because they're obnoxious and they're bought and paid for hacks, and they've never played true games up north, and they have always had every advantage in the sport. They were the only conference that 90% of the conference was cheating when the other conferences weren't cheating nearly as much, and if so, it was one or two teams. And they think that their shit doesn't stink, and it did when they went. And Texas does not count as an SEC team because that whole roster was in the Big 12 for the past 2 years. So get this SEC bullshit out of here. But I will apologize to my clientele, because we talked about this Friday night. I don't even know if we were on air or between commercials on the VSiN show there. You know, during COVID,
into Penn State.
Yeah. During COVID, I had a lot of downtime, as most, as everyone did. And I did I think it was a 15-year study on road games against teams that were bowl eligible. Right. And at that point, I believe it was 93.6, if memory serves me correct. 93.6% of the time in college football specifically, you lose when you go on the road against anyone that's made a bowl, right? Power 5 only, right? And I believe that stat would be much higher if you looked at teams that were like 9-3 or 8-4, so that this is on me. I feel like, I don't know if I want to chalk it up to just daddy detail. I should have took every home team in hindsight. And another thing is, you saw the Southern teams just get absolutely fucking destroyed in the North.
All week I was hearing, the Tennessee Vols, we're gonna take over. It's not. They did. They didn't take over shit.
They did. They just played like shit because it was cold.
It was exaggerated in my opinion. When you looked
there were a lot.
There were a bunch of fans there, but the idea that they were going to take over the stadium and that they were going to own Ohio State was laughable. Also, the idea that it gets cold in Knoxville too, and then you have your dog on the sidelines wrapped up in a blanket. Come on, and Ohio State. Why did you not let Will Howard throw the football against Michigan? That's really been Ryan Day's only mistake this season, is not unleashing it against Michigan, the passing game that just worked this. They just lit up Tennessee. It was not even a game.
And that's part of what makes, I think at the end of the day, I actually hate the Big Ten more than the SEC, but it's just the SEC's analysts and stuff. They're so obnoxious. They're like Bill O'Reilly to me. Like they are. Like hearing Feinbaum just try to say that, well, Tennessee earned their way there, but SMU and Indiana didn't. It's completely insulting to anyone that covers the fucking sport. with a fair point of view. And then
it is weird that there's this odd like political.
Well, and there's like this
football.
SEC cult thing where Lane Kiffin is on there talking shit on all these other teams getting beat up in the college football playoff, and then when Tennessee gets their ass kicked, completely silent because they're in the SEC. I don't get having like this passion for your conference, and fine, if you're Ole Miss and you think you deserve to be in the playoff over these other teams, fine, but then also talk shit against Tennessee.
Well,
doesn't this just want to? Isn't the clear path? Like, to me, this is a clear path to the big conferences realizing, a little bit of expansion and more home games would actually be a positive thing. If we think we're the best, we'll be hosting these home games. It will be an advantage for us. Now, so sorry. Go ahead, Colby.
No. But I mean, I want to. I wanted to follow up on what Sean was saying. There was like, the fact that they just ignore results, and then what did they say for the past couple of years? Well, if Texas was in the SEC, it'd be different. If Texas was in the SEC, they wouldn't do anything. Well, guess what? Texas is your only win. All right. And they came there, they went to the SEC championship in year 1 and lost in overtime. So you can't have it both ways here. You said the Big 12's garbage, and the Big 12's best team from a year ago came in and gave you a win with the Big 12 roster.
So breaking down the remaining teams, Sean.
Yes.
We have one team from, I'm going to do Colby's thing where I'm going to just look at conferences as they were a year ago. As most of these teams, that's what they are. One team from the SEC, Georgia. 2 teams from the Pac-12 in Oregon and Arizona State. 1 team from the Big 12 in Texas. 2 teams from the Big 10 in Penn State and Ohio State. 1 team from the Mountain West, and a half team from the ACC in Notre Dame.
We've solved it.
So. Was the Pac-12 the best conference last year when we looked at things objectively? You could argue that. It's not surprising that 2 of their leftover teams are in this, regardless. I think the issue with the SEC right now is they are projecting that they're realizing that the playoff makes it so one game can decide the opinion on things. Because it was an easy opinion to have. This is bullshit. SMU shouldn't have been in over Alabama. Like they did not look like ready to play the game until Tennessee played and suffered the same fate because road games are fucking hard in college football.
And this is the early stages of a different era of college football. Like the SEC was the best conference the past 25 years without question, but they were also the only conference that like 90% of the teams were cheating. So now you have NIL. Did you hear Alabama's AD this past week? Alabama's AD complaining that they need money because he realizes that, guess what? He just saw North Carolina go all in football. SMU's going all in football. They realize that
they don't actually have the money.
Yes.
They don't have the money. Their state's not wealthy. They don't have wealthy boosters. Alabama's actually fucked. Alabama is a great example of a program that historically is one of the greatest programs we have. And they don't have an answer in sight to match these other massive programs, which is pretty wild to think about.
Well, it's just to me. I read it as like I saw fear in them, and they realized that that the changing landscape, and now the fact that you do have to go to the north sometimes. Whether I don't know that it's necessarily Alabama, but they haven't played a game in the north. I feel like outside of September in a long time. Yeah.
Colby and Sean, what happens first? North Carolina wins a college football playoff game, or Alabama wins a college football playoff game?
I would take North Carolina. I mean, clearly they have a bunch of money. They have Chapel Bill.
What's stopping Alabama from being the 6th best team in the ACC?
Well, I would say what makes this interesting is we see these 1-year turnarounds where a program gets a bunch of money, gets a good head coach, and all of a sudden you're in the college football playoff. All of a sudden you're relevant. I mean, look at SMU. Certainly didn't work out for them,
example.
but
money.
Yeah, like if you pay to play, you can instantly become pretty competitive here, and especially I do think Bill Belichick if he's going to model his program and make it like a pipeline for the NFL, I think that's very attractive to recruit. So I think he could have a really good first couple years here. We'll see what they end up recruiting wise, schedule, everything else, but I think they'd be in a prime spot to dominate the ACC.
And I think it's only going to get, you've seen it with Texas Tech investing a shit ton of money, or Indiana has thrown a bunch more money after this run. SM, there's plenty of examples. It's being spread out throughout the sport. So I do think it's an interesting time in that regard, where they got to worry about that, because now that you can pay, now that everyone can quote unquote cheat, I think it just opens up a brand new era in college football. You can't compare it. And that's the problem. Like when you hear Herb Street, the ultimate hack, or Feinbaum talk about this, you can't compare it to 20 years ago, because 20 years ago, 90% of the talent was in that conference. So yeah, I think it's a different era. And another thing is, moving forward, we have to always take the home teams. Cause imagine if we did March Madness on home campus, like on big time college campuses. If you had a home game.
I'll be honest, I considered it, but I thought the point spreads were very large for a year that had a lot of parity in college football. What I didn't realize is some of these teams were actually not going to be able to function in the cold weather. That was a little surprising to me. I didn't totally surprised. Like SMU, you could argue also was very close to having a lead in that game, and who knows what happens if they don't complete the shit the bed. But the reason they shit the bed is because holy crap. It looked like Tua in the wetsuit game. Like it was a case of a guy I don't really want to be out. This is too cold for me.
Yes.
Part of it. I actually was impressed by SMU's defense and thought that they played great. And then, I do believe if you do the exercise, now I know I'm going to sound like believe this within me, is that if you played take all those games, reverse them and play them at home campuses, I think 3 of the 4 probably win.
Which is the
only one I think the one would be Notre Dame, Indiana to me, where I think Notre Dame probably wins at Indiana. But I think if you
Penn State wins at SMU, and
I think SMU was actually the most impressive to me. Like out of the 4 on the road, if they just don't make those picks, which I think is a quarterback going to the cold for the first time,
completely lost.
That's because he's in the cold. Right, like Peyton Manning remember Peyton Manning when he first went to the NFL, he went to the cold and he would just get destroyed.
To Sean's point, I don't know if they're winning the game, but I agree with Colby that SMU was the team most affected by the elements for sure.
Well, what about Tennessee, Ohio State? Is Ohio State just that much better?
Yes, I do think there's a version where Ohio State, the whole year, they had the best roster. Yeah. We hear about it, and that they laid the egg against Michigan. And it was really the handicap for me against them was that their fan base was stewing about the coach, and there might be some toxicity, but clearly, they don't have to play Michigan on the way to winning a national championship, which would be hilarious if Ryan Day wins a national championship in a year where once again, he can't beat Michigan, even if they don't have a quarterback. Anyway.
But that's I get so angry at that's what I feel like I probably spew off more SEC hate, even though I think I hate the Big Ten more. But it's but because of the coverage, when they said I saw I think it was Herb Street or Peter Burns, I can't remember, saying, well, Tennessee just went up there, no one would have beaten Ohio State at Ohio Stadium. Hey, the last time they stepped on that field, they lost to a 7-5 team. Shut up. You act like it's some.
I mean, I bet on Ohio State, but I really would have wanted to see, and I bet on Ohio State. I wanted them to win because I had money on it, but it would have been awesome to see Tennessee win outright, and then them with those flags to try and plant them at Ohio State.
Yeah,
I was rooted. That chaos would have been awesome to witness.
I would say that. To me, the Penn State wasn't losing the way they were playing. I don't think anyone could have come into that stadium and they were going to win that game. Clemson is the
interesting one.
I thought Texas and Clemson. I mean,
you can't give up 300 yards on the ground.
No, but
you can't do that.
Clemson could have put themselves in better position, but just repeated bad play calls. And to your point, they got dominated. But Texas, not that impressive to me. Notre Dame, not that impressive. I thought Indiana played at just a dog shit game, and so I'll be curious to see how those teams show up next round. But yeah, Ohio State and Penn State were very impressive to me.
But that's another thing I want to get in front of, though, is that like people keep saying they messed up the seeding. We don't know that yet. If Boise State beats Penn State or if Arizona State beats Texas,
it's politics.
Yeah, it's. I think you got to let this thing play out for a few years before you really, the sport has took on so much change in 2 years that just give it time and see how it works out.
Yeah. All right, we're going to blow through some bowl game picks, and we will be doing a college football playoff part 2 episode next Monday. So stay tuned for that. But plenty of bowl picks. Let's go, Kramer. What do we got?
Ooh, Sean wants to talk football. We're talking a number of games, so don't worry. It's very rapid fire. If you want a deep dive on these games, I'm sure Colby and the team who love bowl games are going to dive all the way in. First up, I think this is maybe Colby's favorite bowl because it's played on the island out there in Honolulu. They got first of all, where's Hawaii? They're not playing in this game. South Florida, San Jose State, Christmas Eve, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. San Jose State lane 3, -150 on the money line, +130 for South Florida. 63.5 is the total. Colby, what's the opt-out situation?
This is an easy handicap. Of course you have that. This is an easy handicap.
Let's hear it.
Well, Nick Nash, San Jose State's, the country's top receiver for receptions and yards, I believe. He opted out. But at the same time, I feel like San Jose State is just a great play here. Now, they lost a few other guys, like their cornerback DJ Harvey went to USC, and their other corner Dansby went to Arizona, and their backup quarterback Emmett Brown, who started a couple games, transferred out. South Florida, we don't know about the Byron Brown if he's starting. He's practiced some, but they've lost a few guys as well. Their best defensive lineman is at Rutgers. But the play here, this one's actually not that bad, guys. Wait till we get into this. But the play here, Kenya Matalolo, if you didn't know, played quarterback under Paul Johnson at Hawaii back in the 80s. He's at Hawaii. He's from the island. He was a former quarterback at Hawaii. His dad is a legend in Hawaii. His dad just passed away. Rest in peace to, and I believe what was his name again? It was Simi Niumatalolo. So condolences to the family, but his dad is a legend on that island as far as a coach. I was talking to Timmy Chang at Mountain West Media Days, and he was his basketball coach. It's a
small island,
but he talked about his impact as far as like organized sports on that island. I think they're going to get up and play for coach. I think they're going to have the crowd because Kenya Matalolo is a legend in Hawaii. So I'm laying it here. And another thing is mileage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my takeaway. San Jose State's such an easy, much easier trip than South Florida. San Jose State all day here. I mean, I love the local island connection, but I'd be on it just for the travel spot alone.
Also, they were just a better team all year. Like San Jose State was a pretty good team. They almost beat Boise.
They
South Florida beat a bunch of shitty teams. Like they barely got bowl eligible, beating a bunch of shitty teams.
Smash spot for San Jose State. Let's go.
Tomcat saying 4 Hawaiians on the roster for San Jose State.
That's a lot of Hawaiians.
Lay it. I mean, and they're going to eat good after the game too. You know that. Game number 2. So they're not playing a single bowl game on Christmas this year, huh, Colby?
They've done that for the past couple of years, and I don't understand it. It's stupid to me. The Hawaii Bowl traditionally, when I was a kid, was on Christmas. So I don't know why they would move.
They don't want to compete with the NBA.
Is that what it is?
Running scared.
Well, and the NFL.
The NFL obviously, but now they can't even compete with the NBA. So yeah.
Well, I mean, they're competing with the NFL. They just did right now. All right, this past week. Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, it did not. That did not go well for them.
Did it?
I don't think it went well for them. 11. You're the ratings guy, Colby. I don't get any ratings data anymore now that you're not in the office to inform us on the ratings. I'm free of ratings. Pittsburgh, Toledo, we're heading to beautiful Detroit, Michigan for the Game Above Sports Bowl.
This is a shitty game.
Imagine finding out you've qualified for a bowl game, Sean. You go, which awesome warm destination are we getting to go? Oh, Detroit. I guess they're kids from Pittsburgh and Toledo. So who's more hyped to be at the
lateral move for both cities?
Toledo. This is right down the street. So this is basically a local game for them. Laying 6.5 for Pittsburgh on the road here. Narduzzi minus 250, 51.5 is the total. Give us the opt-out situation. Based on this number, I assume Pittsburgh not a ton of opt-outs.
I fell asleep looking at this line earlier. But Toledo has wide receiver Larry Stevens gone. Also tight end Anthony Torres, wide receiver Juwan Newton gone. Starting left tackle Alan Jones is questionable because of injury. They lost a couple guys on the defensive side too. Now Pitt, Kenyatta Mumfield opted out. Same, and I think Gavin Bartholomew is going to. We don't know that officially yet. They lost a ton of players in the portal. Their backup quarterback Nate Yarnell, who got a lot of starts. Remember, Holstein's been dinged up, so I don't even know that situation. I think he's going to play based off of some reports, but they had one of their best defensive linemen hit the portal. Another wideout and about 5 or 6 other backups hit the portal. So this game is stupid, and I'll take the points because Toledo's closer, and I think they have more of a they don't get to play Power Fives every. Toledo put it on Mississippi State earlier this year.
I'm taking Pitt laying the 6.5. Anything under 7, you smash with Pitt.
Yeah, give me the local team, Toledo. This used to be the. What do you mean?
I mean, you think a bunch of Toledo Rocket fans are going to go to this game?
I think Toledo is the local team. Okay. It's very close to Detroit, and I also
they're going to get destroyed.
Okay, this used to be the Quick Lane Bowl. It's now the Game Above Sports Bowl. What do you think Game Above is, Colby?
I mean, a video game company. I don't know. Yeah.
Honestly, as I'm poking around here, it kind of looks like it's a shell corporation for something.
Saudi, we got Saudi money into Detroit.
Game Above is a successful, multifaceted brand that includes charitable giving, capital investment, sports entertainment, and media ventures. Does that not seem like some sort of shell company pyramid scheme shit? That does not sound like a real company. How much did it cost to get this bowl game? We really got to get with Derek, Sean. Work on getting some maybe we could do a co-sponsor where it's like big letters circa, small letters SGPN bowl. We can make this happen. All right. Sean's not interested in our bowl game. Rutgers heading to Phoenix, Arizona for the Rate Bowl.
Rate, right? Is that what you said?
Rate Bowl.
Okay.
As in again, so I'm sure
guaranteed rate or something.
It's not. It's just the Rate Bowl. Rutgers is catching 6.5 plus 200 on the money line, minus 240 for Kansas State. 50.5 is the total. Bunch of dudes from Jersey heading out to the desert. This seems like trouble. Colby,
this is my favorite. You try to do a deep dive on who's out for this game. This is great, guys. Check this out. This is the information I got. Kyle Monangai, the star running back for Rutgers. It said decisions are still ongoing as of December 18th, but made the trip based on his Instagram. Then it says cornerback Robert Longerbeam, who's a really good player for them. Looks like he might play based on his Instagram story. Safety Shaq Loyal, same as Longerbeam. His Instagram story indicates he might play. I mean, this is fucking hilarious. So everyone's just following their Instagram stories for their. It's just so ridiculous.
That's smart. That's smart.
Defensive end Wesley Bailey's now at Louisville. Wide receiver Chris Long hit the portal, but he hadn't played since week 8, even though he played a lot of snaps. I guess you're basing it on like 4 guys potentially playing. Their left tackle did opt out, but there's 4 guys that are big time contributors to this team that seem to be on the
Colby,
fence about playing. Yeah.
Little trivia: who is tied for second among most? Tied for second among active Big Ten head coaches in bowl wins.
Oh,
you going with the Golden Guido, Schiano?
Greg Schiano, baby.
Italian of the year
guy. This is a made guy. He owns bowl season. All in. He's the winner of the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
It's an
I
effort.
think they win outright. I'll take the 6.5. You're giving me a free 6.5 points. I'll take it.
I'm gonna take the 6.5 too, because I didn't even get to Kansas State, but DJ Giddens, their running backs, opting out for NFL draft. Their starting corner Jacob Parrish opting out for the NFL draft. Their starting right tackle is now at Washington, and there was another starting wide receiver Keegan Johnson dipped out. So
I gotta sort this out.
It's the stupidest.
They gotta sort this out. Yeah, give it. We're all Discord's getting Kansas State.
You know though, as much as I want to blame, the lack of a bigger playoff, I blame the generation. It's like you get a certain amount of windows to play fucking football in your life.
Yeah.
And you sit there and like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
it's like eventually you're opting out for what? Eventually you don't play.
When
anymore.
does the opt out end? Right? Like, oh, hey, senior year, high school football.
Yeah.
You're not making the state championship. Do you opt out? No, it's you get a chance to play high school football. Why would you opt out?
I just want to know, like, do you on a Friday night, if your boys are like, hey, let's go to the club? No, I got the NFL draft pending. You know what I mean? Like, are you living in a bubble? Like, life can hit you in any way. I completely disagree with the mindset that you have here. That, thank God, you're starting to see a little bit of a transition. I know Cam Ward and Coach Prime has really drilled this home. A few other teams you've seen they've opted in, and I hope this pendulum is swinging back, because I'll never understand it, and I think it shows to how pussy we've become.
Well, you got to blame the institution of sports in this country. You just look at the way that it's handled. It's the same at the youth sports level. This situation isn't the best for me. So a lot of high level club sports, whatever sport that is, will essentially tell you you're not playing for your high school. You're not going to do the thing that, what do kids want to do? They want to be a badass in front of their peers.
This is from their parents though. Like, this is parenting failure, in my opinion. It's not
just parents though, Colby. As someone who's going through it, you have to like basically tell these organizations, fuck off. Like that's not how it's going to be. And I don't think it's just the parents. I'm telling you, when these high level elite programs tell you you're not going to do this for the love of the game, you're not going to do this so you can play under the lights in front of your classmates and be a fucking hero on a Friday night, you're going to just train, right? You're just going to practice. You're not going to even play in a fucking game. That's not just the parents. The parents are going along for their ride because they think it's the best way to get their kid that scholarship. It's amazing how many of these parents think it's only about the scholarship.
Shout out to Barron in the chat. You guys have been ass with the playoffs. Hey, Barron. I dominated the playoffs. You're probably not
James Harden in his profile picture.
I mean, you want to talk about a guy who's been ass. Let's talk about James Harden.
Maybe. And you know what? I took a fucking
undefeated in the FCS. Undefeated in the FCS.
I sacrificed playing blackjack on Friday night because I dumped all my money on the stupid fucking playoff games. And you know what I don't have? I don't have winnings from blackjack or the money I bet on those games because I lost every bet.
This is what listeners may not understand because normally when they criticize these content creators, they're not actually betting the money.
You fucking pussy.
They're like, yeah, you sucked. It's like, yeah, no, I lost money.
You know what's going to make me do better? Losing all my fucking blackjack money.
There you go.
And it was a lot of blackjack money. I really regret it. It could have been NFL slot money. I felt so. I was like, I walked away from the slot machine with with some money.
I did something reasonable. I bet on all college football playoff underdogs, feeling great about the decision. And then you just
everything.
watch 12 hours of them getting their ass kicked.
I hate everything.
As Colby mentioned, what got lost, I mean, great handicap of Montana State. We nailed that.
Oh wow.
And North Dakota State winners outright. So yeah, we did. I don't know if you're including that in our playoff records, but you should. All right. Arkansas State Bowling Green.
Also, I have a great ass. Thank you. Arkansas State Bowling Green, as Sean said, we're heading to Mobile, Alabama for the 68 Ventures Bowl. For some reason, Colby, there's a boat in the logo of this one. We'll have to deep dive this later on. $1.5 million payout. I wonder if the sponsor has to come up with that. That's a little pricier than
they just write it off.
That's a write off. It's a little pricier than I would have expected. You may remember this bowl as it was previously the Lending Tree Bowl, Dollar General Bowl, GoDaddy Bowl, and GMAC Bowl. Mobile, Alabama really loves their football. Bowling Green laying 7.5 minus 280 on the money line. Arkansas State plus 230. 52.5 is the total. These kids from Bowling Green might as well be going to Panama City, Florida, or some sort of spring break destination with this southern trip. I assume the line at 7.5 tells us, and the betting splits being as they are, bets very split down the middle. Big handle on Bowling Green is telling us that we're supposed to lay the points with Bowling Green because they're going to have the better roster. Colby.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay it just because Arkansas State really does not deserve to be a bowl team. They didn't really beat anybody good, but I don't know. I mean, look, Bowling Green's without. We need to know if Harold Fannin, who's maybe the best tight end in the nation, is going to play. That's still unknown, I guess. But
nothing from his Instagram stories.
I don't know. The reports surfaced that he's supposed to play, I guess, but we'll see. They lost Terrion Stewart, their starting running back, to Virginia Tech. They lost linebacker Joseph Sipp, all MAC, to Kansas, and they lost both their right and left tackle to the portal.
No, that's not good.
But at the same time, Arkansas State just has not been very good this year. Their starting corner's gone. They're one of their best defensive linemen, perhaps their best. Jaden Jones is gone as well. I mean, I'm going to take Bowling Green because Bazelak's been in college for 30 years, but I just think Bowling Green's the better team. They like Arkansas State. You look at their schedule, and you're like, this team this is, if you're going to argue there's too many bowl games, you probably would say
I'll trust Colby's handicap on Arkansas State. I don't have a strong take on Arkansas State, but the fact that the line is 7.5, they're telling you, they're trying to entrap you into action on Arkansas State, not falling for it.
I'm only doing market reading for this episode. So Bowling Green, lay the points.
Hey, if you're looking to lay the points, head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN, get you a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply on the rollover bonus. But yeah, love me some mybookie.ag. Get the early cash out, live betting and streaming options. They just have a ton of markets. The prop builder is really something to behold. Highly recommend heading over to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code SGPN. Get you the sweet deposit bonus and start firing on these college football bowl games. You're going to be laying around the house. There's so much action for the NBA, NFL, college football. They got it all, and they got lines on everything over at mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ryan's back wearing some
I realized that I'm
gear.
snorkeling today, so I should get my gear on.
100% snorkeling. And Oklahoma Navy, no snorkeling needed here.
Whoa.
Teams we know about.
Slow down. You must be talking about the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, which somehow what does Oklahoma have to do with our fabulous armed forces? They're taking on Navy, and these idiots in Vegas have Oklahoma laying points minus 165 on the money line, plus 140 for the great Navy of the United States of America. 43.5 is the total. Sean, this one's being played in Fort Worth, Texas. So a lot of red, white, and blue plan to be there. Although I do wonder how the fuck is the Navy going to get their ships all the way up to Fort Worth?
I mean, to me, this is everyone's saying Oklahoma. I think I'll be honest. This is just I'm fading Navy here, and I normally don't do that because this is they already won their Super Bowl. These guys are swimming in it after knocking off Army. That was their Super Bowl. That was the game they care about. They are not giving a shit about this game. Oklahoma -3 all day. Colby, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean,
he hates Oklahoma, but he knows I'm right.
Yeah, I think you are right.
You played at TCU.
Are you double check this spread is right?
What? I see 3.
Oh, okay.
Double check. I see 3s and 3.5s.
All right, then I don't know. I'm also entering in this Bowl Mania challenge, and they have the number listed there is 9.5. I don't know.
I wonder if that was before all the news. Like Jackson Arnold, they're starting quarterbacks at Auburn now.
It in.
Jackson Arnold, they're starting quarter. See this is what makes it hard. I still think you're right though, Sean. Like fading Navy at that moment, and then this is going to be an Oklahoma crowd. That trip is not that far. And Oklahoma, like NC Nick asked me, he's like, "You really think they'll go to this game?" Yeah, I do. It's what else are you going to do in Oklahoma? Flip quarters?
I'm sorry. I mean, what is NC Nick like in this game? Navy?
I think he went Navy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. Beautiful.
But it's hard to fully picture what Oklahoma is going to look like. So Jackson Arnold's at Auburn. Their receivers, JJ Hester's at Kentucky. Jalil Farouk went to Maryland. Jaquiz Petway, also Nick Anderson, Andrell Anthony. Those wideouts all gone.
All the good players.
Their starting tight end Bauer Sharp is now at LSU. Their starting center Josh Bates is now at SMU. Their backup center Hatchett is now at Washington. That's just the offense, guys. They also have some opt-outs. Danny Stutzman, one of the best linebackers in the country, opted out. Safety Billy Bowen opted out. 5 potential more opt-outs on the defensive side of the ball. And then you have some guys that hit the portal, like they're one of their corners that played a lot of action, 424 snaps. Canny Walker, who's now at Arkansas. I still think it's the right side. It's Navy. A home game. They will show up. Navy is
Navy.
This is not rapid fire. So you're sticking with Oklahoma, Cole?
I am. I just think Navy is due. They stormed the field. That was the biggest win that Navy's had in a few years.
It's the easy handicap. So I'm on Oklahoma. Kramer's on Navy. Colby's on Oklahoma.
But how many opt-outs on Navy?
None.
Okay. Give me Navy. Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt. Nice little matchup here, considering the other games we've talked about.
Definitely the best one so far.
We're back in Birmingham. 12:30 p.m. here.
Now, Pavia, did he opt out, Colby?
On the West Coast.
Because he's a real quarterback. You know what I mean? He's a real quarterback.
I mean, the guy is suing to play more college football.
He's back.
I know.
Yeah, he won. Yeah,
he was suing. It sounds like it's 100%. It can't be overturned.
Well, no, they can appeal, but it's the judge. It's very small chance that the judge will then change their thing here. The NCAA is getting fucked up in every court case.
Well, I was gonna say no. There is the chance of them pursuing this any further is probably 0. As in all of these cases, essentially, I think if you want to keep playing college football, you can just sue, and they're going to let you do it until they figure out this collective bargaining, union law, whatever, however they figure out what the next semi-pro college football is going to be. But until then, I think if guys want to keep playing, they're going to just sue and be able to keep playing, because no judge is going to rule for the NCAA restricting someone's ability to work and make money.
Vandy +3, easiest play on the board.
Yeah, and a lot of that logic to me, I do. And this is an old SEC rivalry. These two used to be, Georgia Tech used to be in the SEC, and this was like their rival. Eric Singleton, their best wideout, is now at Auburn, and they also lost their starting left tackle to Arkansas, and then Romello Height, who played that big in that Georgia game. He's at Texas Tech. And Tay Seymour, their starting safety, went to Auburn. So I would say you look at Vandy, they lost their starting right tackle to Florida State. But besides that, we don't know if Eli Stowers is going to opt out. I think he's going to play personally because I know he's close to Pavia. But I think Vandy, just from that too, let alone like the fact that it would be a good game with everyone there for Georgia Tech. I just think Vandy hasn't lost that much. So give me the doors. Let's go.
So many bowl games get played in Alabama. It's wild to me. Yeah, you got to take Vanderbilt here. Next up, Texas Tech, Arkansas, heading to Memphis, Tennessee. Sean, for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. I hear it gets cold in Tennessee too, or as well. Arkansas laying a .5, -125 on the money line. Texas Tech +105. 52.5 is the total.
This is another one of the better ones in my opinion. I like the Red Raiders here. Despite, if you've been to Memphis, you realize that Arkansas is about 10 seconds away. So this will be an Arkansas crowd. But Texas Tech, they've had a history in this, specifically this game. They put it on our guy Mike Leach and Mississippi State in this exact game a couple years ago. And they've been fire in bowl games under Joey McGuire. So Texas Tech also one to watch. They're pulling currently behind the scenes. If you are not up to date, they're pulling an SMU and they're buying like every player in the transfer portal right now. But they lost their starting wideout Micah Hudson to Texas A&M. In their offensive tackle Ty Buchanan as well. But they are going to be starting a freshman quarterback in Will Hammond because Baron Morton's going to miss the bowl game. But these guys, I feel like Texas Tech, just whatever quarterback they have, they put up numbers. It's been happening for like 15 years. Josh Kelly, also a wide receiver, opted out, but Taj Brooks, I believe, is going to play, at least last I heard. Arkansas is a team that lost a ton as well. Starting center Addison Nichols is now at SMU. Left guard Andrew Kutis is now at Ole Miss. Right guard Joshua Braun is now at Kentucky. So the three starting offensive linemen gone. Starting wide receiver,
that won't matter.
Starting wide receiver Isaiah Sategna is now at Oklahoma. Starting tight end Luke Haas is now at Ole Miss. Starting safety TJ Metcalf went to Michigan, and linebacker Brad Spence went to Texas. Also, they have a slew of opt-outs, including Jaquindon Jackson, their starting running back, and star wideout Andrew Armstrong. So I will take Texas Tech, even though they're starting a freshman quarterback, because I don't think Arkansas is going to be able to move the fucking ball.
Yeah, I'm with Colby. This is a fate of the Arkansas offense. Give me Texas Tech .5 all day. Woo Pig about to get slaughtered.
Did you know this is called the Liberty Bowl because it was first played in Philadelphia, Sean?
I
didn't know that.
Oh.
No.
From 1959 to 1963, it was played in Philadelphia Municipal Stadium before making its way to Atlantic City and then eventually Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee. I'm with you. You want to play the home team, but you got to play Texas Tech. Cuse, Washington State. We're heading back out west for the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Where the fuck is DirecTV getting any money nowadays? They lost.
Not from the Sunday ticket.
Again, Sean. Let's circle back again. Get with Derek. Figure out a way to do the circa SGPN Bowl. It feels like it's very much in touch, especially the one in Detroit. Come on. Syracuse, Washington State. Like I said, Syracuse is laying 16.5. Wow. -800 on the money line, +500 for Washington State. 59.5 is the total.
That's a lot.
John, this is you have two hearts in this game. What's the lock, Colby?
Syracuse all day. See, this is why I'm very happy that when I say the pendulum swinging back, you look at Dion, Kalani Sitake, and Fran Brown. Syracuse has no opt-outs. They have a couple guys that hit the portal. I think it was 2 or 3 guys, but Kyle McCord, all those other great players that you saw, Fran Brown,
up.
much
Battery
like Dion saying
in December,
saying we finish here. It's so fucking refreshing. And meanwhile, Washington State, man, this is really sad times. I don't even understand what the hell's going on. Jake Dickert took Wake Forest. You left to go to Wake Forest. Washington State is a much better job than Wake Forest. I'm baffled by that, but unfortunately, gone. Like the entire team is gone. So I don't know. I'll lay the
number.
Points. The whole team though. I'm talking like Mateer is now at Oklahoma. Chris Hudson, their wideout is at Arizona.
We learned this last year. These big numbers, especially when they've moved a bit, you got to lay it. You just have to. Don't overthink it. There's a reason.
Very easy. There's Syracuse a reason. Play here.
A well-motivated power conference team going against the
team who doesn't give a shit.
A non-power conference team.
I just think like morale in Pullman is like, fucking everyone else leave. Fuck this place. You know what I mean? Like, it's. I don't even understand it though. You would think you would make you look at Boise. Boise's going to the Pac-12 or Washington State. Washington State was pretty damn close to going. 11-1 if you look at the schedule, right? And you're sitting there saying that would have got you in the playoffs starting next year, but you're going to go to Wake Forest.
I mean, especially Wake, like that's just seems soft. It's as far as coaching moves go, it's very soft. Next up, 7:30 p.m. we head out to Las Vegas, Sean. It's unfortunate we won't be able to make this game. It's during the theoretical show that we're not doing this week. SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. What are we talking about? What is SRS Distribution? Can't they no way to put something buzzier on the name? Texas A&M, USC, big money in this one. The Aggies are laying 3.5, -170 on the money line. USC +145. 51.5 is the total. I'd imagine there's an insane amount of opt-outs on both these teams.
The logo for the fucking bowl game is the sun. Hey, guess what? You play in a dome. Get the fuck out of here with this. At that bull, you play it at Sam Boyd. All right, if you're gonna do this, don't spit in my face. A&M. They lost Connor Wegman to Houston, but he wasn't their starting quarterback anyway. A&M's kind of decently intact. There's a few opt-outs. Scorton, the defensive end, that's a beast. That's going to be in the NFL. Same with Shamar Stewart and Shamar Turner, all on the D line. But I think they did lose offensive guard Cam Dewberry to Alabama. But USC has gotten just completely rated. Not only,
I think this number was at 1.5. It's moved to 3.5. I'm going to trust the line movement through the key number 3. Give me Texas A&M laying 3.5.
USC being rated in the portal. This was originally the California Raisin Bowl. Now it's the SRS Distribution Bowl being played in a dome. Last played in Sam Boyd in 2019. Give me Texas A&M. Maybe Buzz. Any chance Buzz will be there? What's the basketball team up to? Maybe get a little pregame speech from Buzz, a little motivation there. All right, Elko. I wonder if Elko and Buzz are getting along. Now we move along to Saturday, 8 a.m. here on the West Coast. Another beautiful destination bowl in Boston, Massachusetts. The Wasabi Fenway Bowl. So many questions.
See that Rutgers Kansas State games in Arizona at that filthy baseball stadium the Diamondbacks play in. This
beautiful stadium.
This is a good one. The next two are fire locations. Do more of it, please. Regular season, every team should play. Every conference should play a game at a legendary baseball stadium, which is a football stadium because it's been built on it for 100 years.
For some reason, they're playing a baseball game in a football stadium. Will Bill Belichick be on the sideline?
Yes. I mean, he's not coaching, but he's going to be there.
Dear God, North Carolina -3. All the chowderheads will be rooting for North Carolina.
I love
or
UConn
maybe not.
I love UConn.
UConn, who's +130 on the money line. 53.5 is the total. Colby's been wet over what Jim Mora has been building up there. What's the handicap, Colby?
I'll take UConn, or I'll take North Carolina because UConn's kind of got rated in the portal, whereas I feel like Carolina, you're kind of auditioning to play for a Hall of Fame coach with that all of a sudden there's a bunch of money involved too, where you can make a lot more money. So I'll take Carolina, even though Marion Hampton, their star running back, is opting out, and same with their defensive end. Come on, Rucker, but Yeah, I just think they're auditioning, and I think there's a reason to play. You look at UConn, like some of their best players have already been taken from the team. So Darrell Robinson's at Auburn.
I love the element of tryout for Belichick.
I like no, I'm on the other side. I think Moore is a good coach. I think the UNC is a team without a coach right now. I think like Bill Belichick lurking. Who put up that football at Wrigley Field is awesome. Did you put up that comment, Colby?
You're goddamn right I did, because it is. You're goddamn right I did.
UConn getting 3 points is crazy. I think they win this game outright. I think this is like, hey, the old UNC era is over. That's not a get up spot. And the line opened at 5.5. It's down to 3. The line movement trust. Yeah. Always follow the money, right?
I kind of agree with you. I'm going to disagree here. Also, the money at the circus seems to be headed back the other way, as over 65% of the handle on North Carolina here as they try out for Belichick. I mean, come on, you're a college kid, and the greatest coach that's ever walked on this planet is lurking somewhere in the building, getting to watch you play.
That makes you nervous. That doesn't get you up for it. He's not actually doing any of the coaching.
These are gladiators. They'll be ready. Boston College, Nebraska, they're both headed to beautiful New York City for the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, Sean. Interesting mix of I would have always assumed a mower company would sponsor a Southern Bowl. I guess they like no one's using a mower out there on New York. It's all concrete. It's a very strange partnership. But we have a nice game between Boston College and Nebraska. Nebraska's got stripes. There might be some synergy there. 9 a.m. on Saturday. Nebraska -2.5, -140 on the money line. Boston College +120, 45.5 is the total. Colby,
I'm going to take Boston College just because I feel like they ended the season with like trajectory looking like everyone was getting behind it. I feel like even the city a little bit, and Nebraska started the season hot. They ended the season pretty terrible. So then they lost a lot of guys in the portal too. Way more than Boston College. Like their starting linebacker, starting defensive end, starting tight end, Dowdell, their running back that got a lot of reps. Stephon Thompson, a linebacker that got a lot of playing time. And a couple other guys that have played a good amount of snaps. Whereas you look at Boston College, Castellanos left a while ago. Now he's now at Florida State. So like they dealt with that, for like 4 or 5 games when he quit on his team. Then you have Jerron Bradley who left in the portal. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm all over Boston College here. I think good coach, good get opportunity for Bill O'Brien. The line movement suggests it's the play as well.
And an O'Brien in New York City. Come on.
Yeah, come on. I think maybe they'll have a little bit of the crowd. I don't think these Cornhuskers will travel out to the big city. So yeah, I'll take Boston College +2.5 all day. Kramer, what do you know?
What was his record in bowl games at Penn State? I know they weren't allowed to play in a couple.
I was about to say I don't know that they were allowed.
Did he even go to a bowl game? Would this be his first bowl game ever?
Off the top of my head, I mean, like
you're right.
0-0 in college football bowl games.
So it was all those Black X years that he was coaching at Penn State. Yeah. All right. Whatever's going on in Nebraska, like Matt Rule started just rock hard and everything's been limp ever since. Boston College plus the points, even though it's a trash team, they are playing in the Northeast. Louisiana, they're taking on TCU in the hold on, I had to pull Isleta New Mexico Bowl in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Sean is ready with the elevation if anyone's interested. 11:15 a.m. on the West Coast. TCU laying 13 -500 on the money line. The Raging Cajuns are +360. 57.5 is the total.
TCU all day here. Better athletes will make a difference at the 5,300 feet and the line movement. This is 8.5. It's up to 13 all day on TCU.
I met the guy that puts this on at Mountain West Media Days. He came by and he was gave me his card and said, if I'm in the area, you guys want to go fly out to Albuquerque? You guys want to fly out to?
Oh wow! Look at this flex.
Albuquerque
Look
here.
at this flex. Look at this guy.
Puts this game on. I could go. Look, Sean, don't you have family in Albuquerque? Let's go.
Well, and I'll be honest, I was at the Ileta Casino. I placed so in Albuquerque, in New Mexico, you can only gamble on sports on the reservation casino, like Ileta. And it's like they use the BetMGM pricing. So I was there putting my Thanksgiving bets in.
How are you supposed to say that word?
Ileta?
Yeah. Okay, we'll just scrub with the way I said it.
What did you pronounce it?
It's not a big deal. You missed your opportunity.
I'm taking. What'd you call it? Isleta?
Again, you missed your opportunity. I'm not going to walk back and relive the moment, but we learn and we move on.
I'll take TCU here though. I mean, I think you look at Louisiana had a great regular season, but then what happens to these mid majors when they have a great regular season and they're not in the playoffs? They get raided. Harvey Broussard is now at Houston. Star tight end Terrence Carter's at Texas Tech. They lost their starting linebacker. They lost their another tight end. They've been kind of hit pretty bad. Now TCU did have some stars hit the portal, like their starting center Brockermeyer. A lot of their skill position guys, Jack Besh opted out as wide receiver. Savion Williams opted out. JoJo Early, the former Bama transfer, opted out. But I just think TCU's been. They have guys, so I will. I question the depth of Louisiana a little bit more than I do the depth of TCU. So give me TCU minus the points.
Just anecdotally looking at the history in this one, when the teams from the East come and play the teams from the West in this bowl game, the teams from the West usually dominate. Lay the big number. Discord getting loaded up for bowl season.
And you should load up over for bowl season over at Underdog Fantasy using the promo code SGPN. Get in over there. You get a deposit bonus up to $1,000. Highly recommend some Underdog Fantasy pick 'em. Colby, any limited slate we got available here? Because I'm sure they'll be posting stuff closer to the game starting.
Probably there's safe
still
with
a lot, still a lot
football
up in the air. But what about we got some Rutgers, Kansas State. The Kansas State numbers are up. Do we fade Avery Johnson here?
That's probably a good idea. But I also think, Kansas State, no matter the year, I feel like in my lifetime has good running back play. We know that Rutgers actually rush defense was not as good as we thought it was going to be this year, but we know that DJ Giddens is opting out for K-State. So their next guy is Dylan Edwards, the Colorado transfer, who was a big recruit. Colorado had flipped him from Notre Dame when Dion got there. Okay. But he played ball with Avery Johnson as a kid. I think he's going to get the start for them. So I will take I'll take the higher on a half rushing touchdown because K-State they're not a passing team. So like they're going to score and they're going to score on the ground at some point. It's either going to be Avery Johnson or him. So give me that. And I will add into your fade of Avery Johnson. I'm going to say lower than 16.5 completions because he's just, if anything, I think the Rutgers pass defense might be better than, I don't know, with all those opt-outs. Yeah, I'll take the lower though. I just don't think he's a very good passing quarterback yet.
So Dylan Edwards higher rushing receiving touchdown, and then Avery Johnson lower 16.5 completions. And then one more thing that you can find to pair with those plays over at UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Home stretch, Kramer. Let's go.
I mean, they got FIFA, Counter-Strike, all sorts of esports you can just layer in on with your college bowl game fantasy projections. We're still on Saturday. Nice day of bowl games on Saturday, Colby. 12:30 p.m. here on the West Coast. We're headed for the second game, I believe, that has taken place in beautiful Orlando, Florida. Sean, I saw the chat was hyped about this one earlier because it's the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Have you
seen this trophy?
The giant edible Pop-Tarts trophy. That is, again, if you're going to do it, shout out to Pop-Tarts. Do it in a way where people talk about your shit. Shout out to the Duke Mayo Bowl. do it in a way where people talk about your shit. That's the whole point.
The internet went it was a viral moment.
Yeah.
When SRS Logistics sponsored a bowl game. People were having fun with the ins and outs of the trucking warehouse industry.
Well, they want to stay in the shadows, Sean. A lot of ins, a lot of outs. We're just trying to get some money written off the books.
I would like,
as Colby says,
it's a no-show bowl game.
I'm on board with the Pop-Tarts Bowl because it's everything that college football is. It's fun.
It's fun.
And to me, they got to bring back the Refrigerator Bowl, the Oyster Bowl. There's a bunch of classic bowl names that are hilarious. I think maybe even the Spaghetti Bowl was one. They got to bring these back. All right, someone bring. Yeah. If you're gonna give us all these other ones, bring back those.
And yeah, do it like do something hilarious. Don't just be a lame ass name on the top of the bowl sheet. Like, what's the mower company doing? Are we getting are we gonna have a sick mower race in Yankee Stadium? Figure something out. Miami, the Canes. I mean, a team like this, I would imagine the opt out situation's funny. -3, -155 on the money line. Iowa State plus 135. 55.5 is the total. Colby just looked at me like the Miami might not be opting out. Is Cam Ward dogged all his teammates into playing in this game?
I am not a fan of a lot of these bowl games. Like, if college basketball is on, I'm probably gonna be watching basketball over them.
Okay, nice.
This is one that well, I mean, come on. When some of the fucking Toledo Pitt game, it's like you put it in this boring ass location, right? And then it's like you have these two teams, like it's just boring. It's a boring game, especially when you read off all the opt-outs. Whereas this, when they're opting in, sign me up. This is one when shout out to Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Shout out to these FCS players. They say that I think they realize that, hey, you know, we get a chance to go play football. You know, like we get a chance to go play football, which is something that's awesome. So Cam Ward's playing, and there's talk that Xavier Restrepo might be following his quarterback and playing in this game. They did lose Isaiah Horton, though. They're wideout. I think he's going to Bama. But they have a bunch of good wideouts. So like, okay, no big deal. Look, Cam Ward's a projected top 5 draft pick and he's playing. I think we need to really state how awesome that is. Jalen Noel, the starting wideout for Iowa State. Jalen Noel is going to be in the NFL. He is playing. Shout out to Iowa State for having these guys play as well. Shout out to Miami for majority of these. Iowa State had 2 guys hit the portal, but these guys didn't get on the field that much.
Yeah, I'm all over Miami laying the 3, right, Colby?
I'm actually going to take Iowa State just because I think Mario Cristobal. You can't opt out of him coaching shitty. All right. And
he'll win a pointless bowl game, and I think they're going to be fired up for being left out of the playoff. And the line moving suggests again they opened up. Let's see. Yeah, they opened up catching 2.5 points because people thought they were going to opt out. No, they're rallying around. They're going to get this win. They're going to get this cover. Miami. I think
there's a tremendous amount of energy that will be gained from Cam Ward. I mean, the Cam Ward playing angle. I think, coaching aside, I rarely take Miami, but I got to take Miami.
I think Matt Campbell is just so much better of an X's and O's coach that I'll take. And the fact that he's got benefit. Yeah, that usually does benefit the better coach, the extra time off.
I will say though, the guys that are going to be drafted playing in the game, this is excellent for the future. Perhaps we can start phasing out this opt-out bullshit. Oh, yeah, I see their point. No, fuck you. No, you don't. 1:30 p.m. Saturday, we're heading out to Arizona for the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dr. Dre and Snoop. All right, let me read this for real. It's the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. This is one of the more hilarious names we've had. And it's all to see Miami of Ohio and Colorado State, Tucson, Arizona. If I didn't mention it, Miami of Ohio is laying 3 -135 on the money line. The Rams are are plus 115. 41.5 is the total.
This is more proof that Snoop Dogg's the coolest human being on planet Earth. Like, I tell this story and no one ever believes me.
Let's
I met Snoop Dogg on the subway in Los Angeles. I shit you not. I shit you not. I don't, for whatever reason, Snoop Dogg, I'm taking the train, Hollywood and Vine, or Hollywood and Highland to Hollywood and Vine. I get on a Hollywood and Highland, right? Snoop Dogg.
So starting right there, this is wild that Snoop would be taking the train.
No, and I asked him. That's the first thing I asked him. I said, because it was almost midnight, and not many people were taking the train, and I'm sitting there, and I'm going actually to downtown, but he's going just from Hollywood Highland to Hollywood and Vine, and he hops on the train, him and like 2 or 3 of his friends, and instantly the car's not loaded. It's like 5 people in the car, and I'm like, dude, it's fucking Snoop Dogg, right? I'm like, what's up? I'm a big fan, right? And we end up having like a 5-minute, like whatever it takes to go to that stop. We have a conversation where we bring up a bunch of different stuff, including his high school football, right? And but it was fascinating to me. I was like, why the fuck are you on the train? And he goes, he said something to the effect of like, I didn't want to. We parked all the way down on the other side of this thing, so I was like, fuck it, let's just go on the train one stop. But fascinating that at 11:45 on like a Tuesday, Snoop Dogg's taking the Metro as a millionaire. And
now he's sponsoring a bowl game.
Yeah. I'm telling you, everything. Got the Corona commercials going.
And look at this image for the bowl. Look at this promotional graphic. I mean,
oh yeah,
Snoop Dogg being involved is probably a positive. This is a pretty nice. It's pretty nice graphic here. If I'm Colorado
fire.
or Miami, I'm
Absolute
pretty happy
fire.
with this. Colby, you're an art guy. Look at this.
Absolute fire. Absolute
Snoop Dogg
fire.
knows Canva.
All right, who are we taking?
I'm taking Colorado State because I read that they sold out their tickets. So
Really,
the Snoop Dogg selling it for for Fort Collins,
for
smoking that
reference,
weed. Right?
For reference, I think that it could have been last year. There's only been a couple universities that have been able to sell out their entire bowl ticket stipend from the bowl games since COVID. So that's pretty remarkable. That tells me there's going to be a crowd.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's all I need to hear. Give me Colorado State.
Done. And
triple lock.
Yeah. There's probably an elevation conversation we had, but
to correct the chat, I never talked to Carl Weathers. I noticed him.
Wait, what?
And it wasn't Carl Weathers.
Wait, what do you mean? Right? Talk to Carl Weathers? That was just a random black guy.
I know, but I'm saying I thought it was Carl Weathers. No, Snoop Dogg. Me and Snoop had a conversation. we had a hip hop conversation. We had a football conversation.
It could have just been Colby. Were you drinking? Was this just was this like the Carl Weathers you saw at the airport?
Yeah, he was just talking to some ratty dude. I mean,
a guy who looks like Carl Weathers. You go up and say you're awesome and Rocky. He might just have went with it.
I mean, there's a lot of people in LA that kind of have Snoop's look. It's not the stereotype.
We had a conversation about him playing high school. He played on Willie McGinnis's high school team, right? And we had a conversation about that, and then we had a conversation.
Fuck with Willie McGinnis. Remember when Willie McGinnis just fucked that dude up?
Yeah.
You don't fuck with him. He's connected to Snoop.
A good buddy of mine was like a tour manager for Cypress Hill and House of Pain. So we had a conversation. He was familiar with him. We had a conversation about that.
Okay. And your story seems to check out.
We're good.
We don't need to. I don't think we need to go any deeper. Although it probably was more like the Carl Weathers story than what Colby's representing.
No, I didn't say what's up. I didn't say what's up to Carl or wannabe Carl. You know what I mean? I didn't say what's up to him.
But Sean, he was very excited that Carl Weathers was sitting over there. All right, East Carolina, NC State. Wow, they did it. How do they strap these two teams together?
Colby's going to be really torn.
Two Southern teams heading up north to Annapolis to play in the Go Bowling Military Bowl. What the fuck is this? What do we have? Some bowling activist group sponsoring the Military Bowl. This is very, very confusing. Colby will probably want to remind us this was once played at RFK, the beautiful RFK, that him and all his crappy stadium honks love and view as the ultimate mecca. East Carolina's catching 6 points here, 245 on the West Coast, plus 190 on the money line, minus 225 for the Pussy Pack. 58.5 is the total. Colby will be on East Carolina, but you want to share the opt-out information or explain why Go Bowling is sponsoring the Military Bowl?
Well, for East Carolina, their starting wide receiver Chase Soul headed off to Iowa State. They also lost their starting cornerback Isaiah Brown Murray and CJ Mims, who transferred to North Carolina with that Belichick bullshit. And then Winston Wright is a wide receiver that may be opting out. We don't know that to be true yet. But NC State, though, how about NC State? You lose your defensive coordinators, new head coach of Marshall, and you lost Davin Vaughn on the defensive end, opting out for the NFL draft, as well as Red Hibbler, who went to Mississippi State, and their star wideout Casey Concepcion hit the portal. They also lost a couple other guys. Their left tackle and right guard are opting out for the for hopes of being drafted, I believe. But yeah, this is an easy play, guys.
ECU.
One school said they don't want to play ECU because we stormed their field and they refused to schedule us for 20 years. Last time we played them,
it's just gonna be mad.
We did lose. We missed 3 extra points and a 26-yard field goal.
I was watching the game with Colby. Yeah. That was a tough feat.
So let me tell you something. There's a guy named Steve Logan, who's a legendary ECU head coach. He said this after the NC State game.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
Smash play, guys. I mean, does NC State have a theme song like that?
I'm actually not aware if they do. But I actually thought, and you can, I won't be an asshole. I'll take ECU.
Yeah, let's make it ECU.
But I will say I do want to stop the show for a second because Go Bowling, the Go Bowling Military Bowl, which is sponsored by GoBowling.com, is a find a bowling center crappy. I go to the website. It's a really crappy website. They have on X. They have 15K followers. Sean, why the fuck? Well, I mean, we have a better looking website. B, we have more followers on social media than this company. What is the shell game here? We got to get a bowl. Yeah. This is unreal.
Someone who knows about bowl games, hit us up.
Go bowling.com. I mean, this goes to a link that doesn't exist. No one actually is going to a website to find a bowling alley, right?
No,
you're just going on
word of mouth.
You're just going on your maps and you're typing in bowling, right? Yeah. This is 2024. I mean, it's a
scam,
and they have enough money to sponsor a bowl game. 4:30 p.m. on Saturday the 28th. We're heading to San Antonio, Texas, where we're playing the Valero Alamo Bowl in the Alamo Dome. I think that's why Colby probably said filthy under his breath.
Oh, you got Tom Benson Stadium right there. You know, the San Antonio Gunslingers used to play there back in the day. You got it right there.
I thought the San Antonio, was it the Commanders that had a little fun in the AAF? That was a good time. Or the Admirals, whatever the fuck they were. BYU, Colorado. This stadium is gonna be lit because wherever Coach Prime and my Buffs go, there's a party. Colorado laying 5 because they're all in, and I do appreciate. There are plenty of reasons you can make fun of Prime and pick at him, but I will say the one area you cannot is his dedication to the craft of coaching a certain style of player. And this finish message is strong, and I think you're going to see a lot of people follow because even though they won't care to admit it, they have to copy him a little bit. Minus 225, especially when his son, two guys who are going to be drafted. Minus 225 on the money line. BYU plus 190. 54.5 is the total.
I mean, more than 2. Jimmy Horn will be drafted. Yeah.
We coming. Colorado.
Well, I was going to say two of the top 5 picks potentially.
Colorado's jacked up. They're amped up. They're ready to play for this. They're ready to show that they should have been in the college football playoff. Put them in instead of Alabama. You want to see someone try and compete in cold weather? Give the Colorado Buffs a shot. They finished the season strong. Love everything coming out of the program. Buffs all day.
I was gonna say they're more of a dome team. Like if this was being played in elements, maybe we could have a conversation about BYU. I haven't heard the opt out situation for BYU yet.
That's what I'm saying. So Kalani Sitake is kind of, their culture is strong there too. They're playing and
hell yeah, another great. Yeah, so basically we need to circle.
Yeah.
So the 12:30 game between Miami and Iowa State and the 4:30 game between BYU and Colorado. Sean, real football being played here.
Let's go.
I'm going to take BYU in the points because BYU has been disrespected too. BYU should be in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like they're 10-2, like that, or at least, yeah. I think that argument, they deserve more of an argument than Alabama does. So give me the points. I think Colorado might win it, but it's too many points right now. Give me the Cougs.
Colby or Kramer, what are you officially on?
Oh, well, I mean. Colorado, baby. I've been watching all these Colorado games, watching Shadur. He by the way, he's also 100% gotten. If you watch game 1 versus game 10, he's gotten much better this season.
Oh, so Sean. This guy.
What? I'm just
Johnny come late.
What do you mean?
Yeah. He was a stud last year, man. Like he was a stud last year. If you watch the tape,
now that he might end up on the Giants, we know their policy when it comes to quarterback.
I'm already on record. I've said Cam Ward, right? As of right now, Cam Ward 1, Shadur Sanders 2, and my
leave yourself
rankings.
some slack in case.
There's insulation all over the place here, but you can't deny
insulation.
You can't deny that I got to insulate myself from getting hurt again. You can't deny that he's definitely gotten better.
No, and that's, you're talking to a guy who picked him almost every game, had a future on them to win the conference that didn't come through, but it was live there at like 40-1.
You guys are betting with your hearts though. It's not objective handicap.
No, it is. He's a good coach and he had a lot of good talent, and this was year 2. It was very objective.
Very heart-based handicapping you and Colby with this Colorado team. Army, Louisiana Tech. So Army has to go down to play a virtual home game against Louisiana Tech in Shreveport, Louisiana, in the Radiance Technology Independence Bowl. If I had to guess, Sean, this could be the company behind the drone situation in New Jersey. Not really clear what Radiance Technologies is up to. Great, a lot of buzz in the name of the bowl here. La Tech is catching 17.5 here. I'm guessing this is plus 550 on the money line, minus 900 for Louisiana, or for our great Army. 43.5 is the total. This is a very large number to be laying for a triple option team, Colby. But the number suggests that we are laying it.
Yeah, I mean, they should have been playing Marshall, but even with that, let's shit on the bowl committee for a second.
Let's take a real quick pause to talk about how Marshall's a bunch of bitches.
Marshall is a bunch of bitches. Yeah. And they didn't even have that many opt-outs. So it's like, they're just bitches. But I would even say, let's talk, speaking of bitches, the bowl committee. Hey, Army won 11-1 in the regular season.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Why can't you pair? They gave us Michigan, Alabama, or Michigan won like 6 games, 7 games. Can you give Army an opponent worth like?
Yeah,
they were 11-1.
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
Army is a very good team at coming off the loss to Navy. I feel bad for this Louisiana Tech team. They're going to get run out of the building.
Yeah, I just think like they do such a bad job giving us great, like, if you don't want to expand the playoffs, at least take the 10 teams that almost made the playoffs and have them play each other.
Yeah.
Like instead of we got, what the fuck is this game?
We need we need the NIT layer. We need the second, like once the playoff is selected, then give me the next tournament.
Yeah, honestly,
teams like Army, then we've probably talked about a couple other teams today that, you know, if they aren't opting out, if they have their full roster, they're probably in a fringe situation where it's like, yeah, I would like to see some more quality college football.
They've done this for a long time, man. They're protecting their big brands. They've done this for a long time, even when before opt-outs. They would do this where they would take, a bunch of teams. Northern Illinois one year had an unbelievable year, and they end up playing like Tulane or something at 6-6, and you're sitting there saying, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah.
Like, play them against. They're one of the. If they finish in the top 20, 25, and they're right on the outside of the playoffs, play them against another team that does it. It will get better TV ratings. I don't understand the logic here. You got to lay it, even though they're done. They lost Udo, their running back. He transferred to Arizona State, going from Army to Arizona State. Sean, what a difference!
Hell yeah.
What a lifestyle change.
But here's another reason why you can't take Louisiana Tech. They didn't know they'd be in the game for like a week or two, so then they reassemble their roster, try to get them all together. But guess what? Their starting defensive tackle David Blay is gone. Their starting corner Cedric Woods gone. Starting defensive end Jadon Burnett gone. Safety Pig Cage gone. Great name.
All-time great college football name.
They're not gonna know how, even if they get an extra couple days to do the triple option. You're working with a backup defense at Louisiana Tech. No, let's go.
No. All right, I'm just laughing at someone said they were taking a dump while watching.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat. Always enjoy the chat checking in. All right, so everyone on Army, right? Smash spot.
I mean, like, I think the key point here is for a period of time, like from the period where they selected the Bulls to the period to the time that Marshall opted out, Louisiana Tech didn't think they were playing in any bowl games, so everyone was essentially gone home for the holidays. And then they're like, "Oh,
hey guys, come back. Let's play this bowl game."
That's not going to work well. Army's going to dominate. Last one, 12. This one is now Monday. So we're planning on getting back together Monday night, but we had to talk about the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl back in Nashville.
Say trans?
Trans Perfect. I don't know. I'm just reading the
Nashville's changed, man. Nashville's changed.
Some would say it's transitioned. Iowa, Missouri laying 3 minus 150 on the money line. Iowa plus 130, 40.5 is the total. Because this was not on the original list, so I didn't actually look up what the heck Trans Perfect is, but this sounds like it's not a secret technology or logistics company or something that's obviously a shell company.
If you want a tuck job, you go to Nashville, they hook you up, and
it's the world's largest provider of language and technology. These fucking shell companies. TransPerfect bills itself as the world's largest provider of language and technology solutions for global businesses. What?
See.
How come these companies can't describe themselves well?
Yeah. I'm really worried how much advertising bang for a buck they're getting. This feels like shady write-off written all over all these companies. What are we doing here, Colby?
I'm taking Iowa goes to this game all the time now. They get worked last year, but they didn't have their OC. Now Tim Lester, their new OC. They've been able to score this year. You look at Missouri, Luther Burden opted out, their right tackle opted out. I think Brady Cook is still on the fence of opting out, their starting quarterback. Missouri was not very good all year, in my opinion. So I'm going to take Iowa. I know there's no Cade McNamara, but who cares? Caleb Johnson's an awesome running back for them.
Quarterback.
Yeah. You don't need
Kirk Ferentz has a lot of bowl experience. He's okay. He's like 500, but I will take Iowa at the points here, getting the 3. Kramer.
Yeah, let's go.
This feels like a game Iowa shows up.
Yeah, I agree. TransPerfect seems like a potentially one of these weird AI. It's going to be eventually some AI thing that has everyone's voice and language figured out. Give me Iowa. Missouri is just a team that exists that I never know anything about. When I pick them, I get it wrong. When I go against them, I get it wrong. So I'm just going to stick with my boys in Iowa.
officially on Missouri for the chat, and officially sign up over on Rhythm sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get in over there. Great for college football playoff, bowl games, and of course NFL, NBA, NFL props, whatever you want to get in on. Rhythm has you covered. Super easy to build your own model, and then see what the model likes, see what you like. Fun way to add like a data driven angle to your handicapping, and it's a 7-day free trial. You think like, oh, it's hard to set up your model. It's very easy. You just slide the sliders all over the place. They got you covered. And we were just talking, let's see here. What's some of the stuff that, try to look up the, they also, as far as bowl picks, they're also on Rutgers with the 6.5. So shout out, the AI is on Chiano. That's how you know it's sharp. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get you a 7-day free trial today.
I fucking kid you not. I'm on this TransPerfect website right now.
Yeah.
It looks like a another fake web solutions, technologies, industry. It's like
just buzzwords.
It's like the demo, like boilerplate websites. This, look at the team. They're on a river trip with their oars up in the air. It's like, Jesus Christ, kickstart your global strategy. Sean, we really got to look. Colby, you're getting more and more connections. We got to get to the bottom of this. Like, where is this money being funneled from? Where to where? I do not understand.
I'll make a phone call to my guys in Albuquerque.
Yeah, call your guys in the desert. All right, you want to lock dog tease?
Yeah. What do you got, Kramer?
Well, I told myself stick to the games where people are going to be playing for real. So we'll go Miami. Lock number 1. We'll go Colorado. Lock number 2.
Oh no! So Colorado -5, and Miami -3.
And then dog will take Colorado State because, like I said, it's very rare in today's day for teams to actually get to their allocation of tickets for bowl games. So Colorado State did that. I like that for their chances in this game. Tease. Oh boy, this is a mess. We'll go Syracuse -10.5, which, by the way, they were near lock potential. We'll go Bowling Green because, like Colby said, Arkansas State shouldn't be playing. And we'll go
Bowling Green teased up to.
Bowling Green teased
down to
-1.5, and we'll go Army -11.5 because Louisiana Tech was on vacation for a couple weeks and coming back to try to play football.
Chiano and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights +6.5.
Dirty.
Oh, Garth poop. Jesus Christ! I think my dog had diarrhea in the office.
Do we have a live shitting on air right here?
Oh,
we got one guy watching on taking a shit, and now we have someone on the show essentially. Boom. That's what he thinks of your picks.
Really
Smells horrible in here.
All right, for my other lock, I'll go Colorado. Oh,
perfect
Jesus
for these
Christ.
bowl games. Perfect shit show for these bowl games.
Thank you, Garth. For my other lock, Syracuse -16.5. Oh my
The
God.
snorkel mask is actually coming in handy.
And then Iowa.
I can't smell a thing.
Oh Jesus! ECU on the money line for Colby at +190. Oh my God, that smells horrible. And for my teas, oh my God, this is really hard to concentrate. TCU down to 7. Vanderbilt up to 9. You know what? Sorry, my bonus lock is Vanderbilt +3. Syracuse all teased down to 10.5. Oh my God. And then last but not least, Boston College up to 8.5. Oh my God. All right. Kramer, finish the show.
All right, Colby, what do you got?
Wait, that was Sean reporting his numbers.
Well, I don't get the brain man.
Yeah, let's lock up Syracuse. All right, that is they're just gonna fuck up Washington State here. The second lock will be San Jose State.
Hold on, so I forgot I got to write this down for you, Colby. Say that again. Start again.
Syracuse.
Okay.
How many locks are we doing? 2 or 3?
Two.
Okay, Syracuse and San Jose State.
Syracuse minus 16.5.
Yeah,
San Jose State
-3.
-3.
The dog is, of course, the East Carolina Pirates. All right.
Yeah, ECU is good dog. I almost threw that one out there too.
And the tees, let's take Army down to 11.5.
Oh, nice. I'm on.
Let's take Syracuse down to 10.5.
Okay.
And let's take Oklahoma to +3.
Swinging it around to 3, very diabolical. This is. I hope someone will need to clip the just to see the change in Sean's eyes from the moment when he realized what happened. It was one of those mind over matter. The second it was visually there, it became a problem. But I will say, appreciate you buying this snorkel mask. My
see that the gift that keeps giving.
Fortunately, I can't taste it. I'm breathing through my mouth a little bit, so I can't taste the shit. But it does seem to be working, keeping it out of my mouth. So, anything else you wanna get off your chest before we wrap up, Colby?
No, just sit back. Hey, honestly, play football.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all the listeners out there.
Merry
You and your
Christmas,
families. Yeah, thank you, buddy. And play football. You get an opportunity to play football. You take it. You always take it. All right. Yeah. Happy holidays to everyone. I appreciate you tuning in.
Unrelated, but I did read like they're potentially like, start having some cash bonus incentives to playing in these games. Maybe that maybe use some of the marketing dollars on that. Seems like a smart way.
Well, regardless,
way to go about it.
To me, like just play football. Like I would pay. I think about this now. Like if there was a machine, I'd pay like 10 G's to go back and play a game. And you're in your 40s, you think about stuff like that. I would love to go back and play football or basketball. It'd be incredible to do that.
Well, Colby, just wait till you're coaching your kid and you get to relive it and tear that hamstring.
Oh yeah,
and Uncle Rico moment.
But yeah, I think this show signed off. You read all those opt outs, and even Garth thought it was proper to just shit on the show.
Well, that is fitting. Garth, although Garth probably shitting due to his his very fierce rivalry with Spuds, who has been a problem for Garth over the last couple, especially since we got Spuds. Garth has wanted to kill Spuds. So, Sean, are you coming back? How are we doing? Oh.
All right.
You're doing some Pat McAfee. I like that.
Yeah. Hey, AJ Hawk.
You want to rip your sleeves off or?
All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And we have more college. We NFL picks tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to the College Experience. Promo code Monday, 10% off everything in the merch store.
Thank you for participating in the
Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Kramer. Let it ride.
All right, guys.
Garth, that smells like hot ass. What'd you eat, Garth? You ate something you weren't supposed to. My God.